All right, welcome to the writing workshop. I'm Dr. Boyce, and I'm so glad you're here. We're right in the middle of a demo of Grammarly, and so we've covered so far the overall score is over here on the right-hand side. Your goals will be here as a writer, and then you'll break down into correctness, clarity, engagement, delivery, and style guide. So we're actually reviewing what that looks like in the demo here. So in purple, it's going to give you feedback on delivery. So here it says, you want to sound more confident? What you said was, don't you think, with a question mark? And it's suggesting you put a period and take that whole clause out right there. It's saying it would make your writing sound more confident, the delivery, if you just ended your sentence here to friends and family, boom, and didn't say, don't you think? And when you read it, sometimes you say, that makes sense. I would sound more confident. Or sometimes I'm using a strategy as a writer that the artificial intelligence doesn't recognize, like repetition for effect. So sometimes as a writer, I like to use repetition. I might say, in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, I got Martin Luther King's book right here. In the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, I might be redundant in a couple of sentences back to back, and I might say, such and such is the reason why we can't wait. Such and such, these disparities that students encounter in their discipline is the reason why we can't wait. The fact that students are still graduating underprepared for STEM fields is the reason why we can't wait. Blah, 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 blah. And the thing might catch it and say, you said we can't wait a whole bunch of times. Maybe you should use this statement over here. And I'll trash it and say, no, I am the writer. I was using repetition for effect on purpose. And then I would just trash their suggestions. So I don't ever want students to feel like the computer is smarter than you. They're not. They just have a bank of a whole bunch of rules. And every time people use these services, it gets smarter and smarter in terms of what it will recommend to you based on what other people write. So, but it's never smarter than you. So always make sure, I tell students, open up your Word document when it's a paper that you're writing. I would never suggest drafting in Grammarly. I would always suggest open up a Word document and get all your ideas out the way that you want them, determine what needs to come first, second, and third after you do your brain dump. And when you're ready to edit, that's when you bring it into Grammarly. So we know writing is a process. It doesn't start with editing because then you just nitpick your thoughts to death. What we want to do first is dump all those ideas out of your head, get all your opinions together, all your data research, depending on what type of writing you're doing. Get it organized, get it laid out in a way that you say, okay, I think this is the way I want my ideas to develop, and then copy and paste it in Grammarly and get your feedback. That's just my suggestion in terms of what works for me, so I don't get so caught up in the nitpicking of these rules. Okay, so that's clarity, and now it'll tell you this is mostly clear. It's correct. You got
I
five
have a
things.
question.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I'll be raising my hand. Um,
Oh, I see
I
your
have
hand.
two
Okay.
questions.
I'm sorry.
I have two questions. My first question is regarding the removing the question mark and putting a period in terms of don't you think? I From my own understanding, I felt like don't you think was a rhetorical question. So shouldn't a rhetorical question end with a question mark instead of a period? So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
And
Okay, let me
and
answer
my
that.
second okay.
Let me answer that one. So I think what this is suggesting is if you want to sound more confident, it's telling you to put the period here and scratch this whole part altogether. So it's saying audience ranging from businessmen to friends and family, period. And then lose this part altogether is what it's suggesting. Now you can say, no, I want to hold on to my rhetorical question. But this is just saying if you want to sound more confident in that altogether and just be more direct with your language and say what you're saying and then go on to the next idea. So not to
Okay.
replace this with a period, but to just end it all and exclude that altogether.
Okay.
Mhm.
My second question is from what you said, you talked about how Grammarly can be used while writing an email. So if I understand what you said, I think you Grammarly automatically like is attached to your email, right? Is that what you meant?
Yes, when you have to download that extension. So when you have you already downloaded Grammarly?
No, whenever I tried using it before, it asked for a username and a password, but I didn't know it. I sent an email. This was last semester, but I didn't get a reply. So I haven't tried using it since then. And yeah, so really my main
Go in your
question
junk.
was,
Did you go in your junk mail and search for
it's
Grammarly
not
in your junk?
it's not in my junk mail.
Okay, so what I'll do then once we I don't want everybody to have to look at that, but I'll go in and anybody else that dropped theirs in the chat. Oh, where'd she go? Lily, you go? Oh, there she is. I have y'all's names and I'll just go in and resend it to you. So make sure that you drop that in there. Also, if you're one of those people, go ahead just in case and drop your email in there, your Paul Quinn email in there as well in the chat, just to be sure, because I don't, if there's any problems. Yes. Okay. So let me go over here and see in the chat. Apparently there's been some questions. I searched my junk mail inbox, but I don't see the invite. Okay, Erica, I have your name down too. I'm glad y'all came today because then I can just go straight in. And if you don't see it, I can just resend it again. I've searched my junk mail. Okay. When you use Grammarly, which tone or style do you suggest should we be using for our schoolwork assignments? So you want to have an academic tone. That just simply means that you are professional. You're not being conversational. Like, oh yeah, because you know how we do. We don't. No, you want to pivot from your informal to your formal dialogue in your work assignments, in your school and your work assignments. So, okay, I have email address down for you, Lillian. I'm going to check on that as soon as we get off to 220. All right. Anybody else have one? You can drop it right there. So again, you'll have to download Grammarly. So through the invite, it'll tell you what to use in terms of your username and password. It'll say you can click there, you can go ahead, register, set it up, and then you can download extensions based on what you use. So if you want to download that extension and use it in your email or your Word documents, you can do that. If you don't, and you say, I'll just copy and I'll just open up Grammarly on the website, or like me, I use the desktop version on my MacBook. So that way I just always have Grammarly pinned down in the bottom, right? And so I just click that, it'll pop up Grammarly, and then I'll copy and paste whatever I want to check in there. That's how I use it. So it's up to you how you want to use it, but the good thing is it's paid for and you have that option. All right, Erica, I have your email down as well. So I'll go back in and resend that invite for you all that didn't see it in your junk. Most students found it in their junk. All right. Anna, you too. I got you. A. Matthews. All right. All right. Now, what other questions outside of the demo that I've showed you here? I've kind of walked you through what it's going to cover, how it's going to assist you. This is our first line of defense in terms of really making sure we have a polished product without having to go back and remember and relearn all these kind of rules that our composition teachers don't have time to teach us on a semester to semester basis. If I have a Grammarly account already, would I need to set up a whole new account for this version? I think I do have mine connected through my Paul Quinn email. That's a good question, Erica. I believe if you're using the free version, it's probably going to be associated with your regular email, like Gmail or something like that. So you may have to do this one separately to get access to the paid version. I think you'll have to use your Paul Quinn email. Angie said, when using Grammarly, what is the purpose of the face emoji? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Let me go in here and see. What is the face emoji when using Grammarly?
There, on our one, it's attached to like our canvas. So when we're typing, there'd be a smiley face or a sad face, and then it's a number attached to it. And I could never figure out what it's referring to.
I haven't used that And so I'm not sure the way that you're saying it. Go ahead, Brittany.
It refers to your tone. So like I get probably weekly emails and it tells you with those designated faces what your tone was in text messages or emails, whatever it's connected to. It's just telling you what your tone is.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess
I'm
my
glad
tone
she's
need
on
to
here
be
because
a
I'm like,
bit.
I have never seen that. Yes. Are there any other questions? Let's see. In the chat. No, that's all the questions that are over there. So that's all I have for today. I just wanted to show y'all a demo, answer any questions that you had, and then get anybody's information that still needed access. Grammarly is a game changer, guys, and so we have to tap in to all of our little tools and tricks that we can get. Is real out here in these writing streets. Also, I'm available for one-on-one sessions. If you ever need one, you can schedule. Yeah, if you just go on the, oh yes, that's a good question. You can go to the page on for the Writing Hub and schedule the session. But Sheila just asked a good question. Does it detect plagiarism? Yes. And it's kind of annoying too. I hit the plagiarism tracker sometimes, but I'm actually like referring to someone that's a researcher, and it'll tell you like, oh, they said that on this page, because a lot of people have referenced the same researcher or something. So yes, it does have a plagiarism detector. Please use it, guys. Please use that, because it's going to help you to make sure you cited someone else. If you are referring to their work, or you saw something you liked on the website and you're referring to that you're citing that source in a scholarly way, so that you don't end up plagiarizing on accident purpose. All right. Does it detect plagiarism? Yes. Does it support other languages? That's a good question that I would think maybe, but I've only used it in English. Sheila, that's a good question. What languages you using, Sheila? We can't hear you. You're on mute. Unmute yourself, Miss Sheila. Okay.
Yeah, I had Greek and Hebrew, and that's been a major.
I have to look into that and email you back, Miss Sheila, or you can try to ask. If you ever encounter problems with Grammarly, you can do the help option through them. I can't really troubleshoot issues, but I would say I'll look into it.
Okay. I was curious.
Yeah. Other languages. Okay, that's the first time I got that question now. But I'll be sure to check and let you know, Ms. Sheila. Okay. All right. Do you help a student review his or her paper? Yes. I have students that show up, that get support, one-on-one feedback on their writing. Like I said, I won't do line edits for grammar. That's what Grammarly is for. So I won't tell you. So I won't say, here's a period. There should be a question mark. Like, I'm not going to do that. But what I do is give you feedback that is more important than the rules. So we'll go through and look at what was the assignment that your professor gave you, what was supposed to be the outcome of that writing goal. Like, for instance, I had another Sheila that I met with that was saying the professor told her it was supposed to be an analysis, but what she wrote was an opinion piece. She didn't understand what the problem was. So we had to take a step back, look at the big picture in terms of what is analysis versus opinion paper, and then how she could make sure she was on task with the assignment. So I do one-on-ones. Do you help students? Yes. I'm an adjunct faculty member and would like to use Grammarly as a closing extra credit assignment. I need your okay. And email me and let me know. Oh, never mind. That was a direct message. I shouldn't have said.
Will do.
My bad. Sorry about that. I was reading too fast. Does Grammarly help with reference pages? It's going to help you with your punctuation and things like that, but I don't think it's going to help you in terms of formatting it correctly. Brittany, you may know. Do you know if it'll help them? I don't think it will.
As far as I know, it doesn't.
So you'll have to do that on your own. And they have some stuff like Purdue OWL is a tool for that. That I think some students use to make sure they're formatting correctly. that's another thing that we can talk about too if you do a one-on-one session, is making sure that your reference pages are formatted correctly based on what type of formatting you're supposed to be doing, APA, MLA, whatever your teacher has requested. But there are a lot of resources online that will help you. They'll tell you last name, first name, period. They'll tell you how to lay that out. But yes, if you need more support with that, you can definitely schedule one-on-one sessions. So that's always an option. Are there any other questions while I'm in the demo about what this service does? I feel like it's pretty straightforward. It's gonna catch everything and make suggestions for how you can make it better. When you get done, it's gonna say, all of these suggestions will be gone. It's gonna say, this paper is looking all right. It's ready to go. And then you're ready to put it back into your Word doc, or if you're already in your Word doc, say that and send it over. It's like getting some first eyes. You never want your professor to be the first eyes that hit that paper outside of yours. Grammarly is giving you first eyes. And then if you are a student that plans in advance, you're going to get Grammarly's eyes. When you book an appointment with me, you're going to say, I've taken my paper through the writing process. I've planned it, I've written it, I've edited it, and then I send it to Grammarly. Grammarly has put eyes on it. And then I made an appointment with Dr. Boyce. She's put eyes on it, gave me overall feedback. And by the time it gets to my professor, it should be a good, strong A. Like, you know,
Right.
It's a difference between that, going through the writing process, or waiting till the day before your paper is due and being like, send. and then asking like, what was wrong with it? You didn't take it through the writing process. So that's why we're here. I'm so glad that y'all made time to show up today to get some feedback. I'm going to stop my screen share now. Everyone that was here, if you want to book a session and you have an upcoming paper, I would also suggest to you, don't make your appointment for the day the paper is due. You're going to be mad at me. I'm not going to be able to sufficiently help you if you come the day. People do that. I got a paper due tomorrow. Can I meet with you? The way my life is set up, I got a lot of irons in the fire. But you can schedule any day of the week. But it's not going to be beneficial to you in your learning process to book something the day that is due. Go ahead and plan. If something is due 1 week, plan to meet the week in advance. Plan to have it done and just not stress yourself out. So that's all I have. It is 12:30 and our time is up. If you would like to stay, how can you set up an appointment with you, Dr. Boyce, through email? Yes, you can email me, or you can go straight to the Paul Quinn website. You just put /Writing Hub. When you put that in, it'll show you our resources. You just scroll on the page, it'll say, you want to book a session? Book a one-on-one session? Click that button and it'll pull up my calendar and it'll let you choose which time works best for you. So I have some students when they're going through a writing assignment, they meet once a week. They already know, okay, on Wednesday at this time, that's what's going to fit my schedule. So they might book this Wednesday and next Wednesday and the one after until the paper's due. So it's just up to you how often you want to come. I have some students working on grad school apps. They were coming multiple times a week until they applied to grad school. And one of them for sure I know got in to a grad school program, but it's all about the work that you're ready to put in, but the outcome, especially if you're a student that struggles with writing, I'm especially like, please make sure you come, because otherwise you will keep frustrating yourself if you already struggle with writing and then you just give less effort. And then as a result of your effort, you get bad grades or bad feedback. It's going to make you feel defeated. So what I'm saying is you have some tools. You have a writing center, you have Grammarly. These are paid services through the college. Utilize the paid services that you have been provided to make sure you put your best foot forward, guys. And so yes, /Writing Hub, or if you email me, I send all of y'all email about this, email me back and say I need to book, and I'll send you the link directly if you are having troubles with booking. Any other questions? That's all I see on here. Thank y'all so much for coming this week, and thank y'all for in advance scheduling those writing sessions in advance. I look forward to reading your awesome writing, and have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday if you have time to hop back for our next writing workshop. Y'all have a good week.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you.